Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right. Celebrate. All of our songs today and our Divine Dip and that blessing, Sarah and Rich, thank you, is awesome. They just keep getting better, don't they? Just flowing. And to celebrate. And this month, the month of October, we're looking at healing. And sometimes we don't look at that in a celebration mode. We go, ooh, what? I thought I was done processing. I thought I'd let that go. You know, but we're in the process. Lessons learned lead to more. So how lucky are we? So we're going to be looking at healing. Last week, Cindy had an awesome service, and it was very foundational for the whole month, and it was healing our identity. And what it was really beginning to understand who we were. And the main point that she covered, I won't read it because I want to get it right, that science defines everything by that part of it that is unchanging. So that's how we identify a species or anything. The science looks at that part of it that is unchanging, and then they define that as that. And so in her talk, as we look deep and deep within, we are that unchanging spirit. That's who we are. We're spirit, and that's never changing. You know, sometimes we talk about relative truth and absolute truth. Relative truth is always changing, like we're always changing our life. But the absolute truth that we're spirit is absolute. It never changes. We are spirit. So it's really neat to get that as a foundation that we're going to stand on for this month. And then another great point that we want to always let go is that we're not our experiences. A lot of times we have experiences and then we just own them forever beyond this lifetime. And so it's to begin to let go. So the definition of healing that I like is to replace a lower consciousness energy with a higher consciousness energy. And so from Cindy's service last week, so we begin to move from our mortal man identity to our spirit divine identity. You see, so we're taking a lower consciousness, limited consciousness, and we begin to transform, to move into, allow for our spiritual nature to begin to manifest through our life. So we move from mortal man to divine man. So here we go. We're spirit divine. And we get ready for a journey. We're coming to planet Earth. So what do? We create a body. We create a body, and our body's a vehicle for our journey in this third-dimensional world. Everybody believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've created this body and this vehicle, and you know what we've put in this vehicle? We've put within our vehicle everything we'll need for our journey. We've put within our vehicle the lessons that we want to look at. We've put within our vehicle the qualities and characteristics that we want to share with the world. We put within us pain that we want to let go of. We put within our vehicle God. God is within us all. And so we come to planet Earth with this vehicle that serves us. Everything that we need is within us. We've all been on a real long journey to the outer. And now we're getting that our journey begins within. The journey of life is to know oneself. The path begins in the heart. So we begin to go within now, and that's where we seek the answers. That's where we seek the guidance. That's where our dreams come from, within. So as we begin to go there, begin our journey there, now we can begin to know who we really are. So we've created this vehicle, we've packed it, and now we're on our journey. And you know what? When we're along our journey, and it's just like you're on a road trip, you've got a bunch of snacks, and pretty soon the water bottles and soda is empty and the chips are gone, and you've got a little glitter bag, and then the next time you pull over to get fuel, you take and release the garbage. You release the garbage that you're done with. You see? And a lot of our experiences, we might not call it garbage, but you know we call it baggage. We're carrying around so much baggage that we're done with. Has anyone ever taken a trip and packed too many clothes? There it is. come on. And every time you get back, go, I'm not packing that many clothes again. And I don't know if that's preparing for our journey, I don't know. But that's what happens. And so in the journey of life, to heal, see, we're going to heal our body, we're going to heal our vehicle, we're going to release and let go that which we're done with, that which no longer serves us. Because this is a soul journey we're on. A soul journey. See, our soul has built this body to serve the soul. And in the process, we let go of the lower, the limited, allowing the higher, the unlimited, to begin to come forth and manifest in our life. So sometimes this seems far out, and sometimes we shake our head and go, that sounds really neat, but I don't know. And so we have to look at what we do know, because that's where we're going to base our validation on, you see. So as we continue our journey on planet Earth, we are on the process of Christing. See, I'll stand forth. We are on the process of Christing. See, to be the love of God made manifest. Christ is universal love, allowing universal love to flow freely from us. So let's see, what do we really believe that matters? I want to tell a little story. There was this beautiful white swan. Beautiful white swan. And it came from the great northern oceans. And it had been in the south for the winter. But summer was coming again, so it was going to head back home. So it takes off flying. It's got these giant, beautiful, pure white wings, and it's up in the sky, beautiful blue sky, and it's flying home. And after many, many miles and hours of flying, it gets tired, so it goes down to take a rest. And it lands next to a well, a land well. And at the bottom of this well is a frog. And the frog says, "Who are you? Where'd you come from?" And the swan says, "I'm a swan. I come from the great northern ocean." So the frog goes, "Well, how big is that ocean anyways?" And so he jumps back, 2 big jumps. And he goes, "Is it this big?" And the swan goes, "No, it's not that big. It's bigger, you know." So he looks at him again. He jumps back 5 times, 5 big jumps. And he goes, "Is it this big?" "No, it's bigger than that." And so the frog runs around the whole well, his complete world, everything that he knows, his reality. And he says, "Is it this big?" And the swan goes, "No, it's bigger." And so the frog says to the swan, "You're a fool and a liar." Because he knew something couldn't be bigger than his world and his reality and his understanding of life. It couldn't be bigger than his world. And you know what? A lot of times we're that frog. We know what we know, and we aren't changing. Because it certainly couldn't be. And that's what's really neat about the word metaphysics. Metaphysics, beyond the physical. Meta, the other half. Your physical being and your spiritual being. So we begin to look at a bigger picture. And then as we see a bigger picture, we begin to see ourselves differently. And once we begin to see ourselves differently, we begin to live differently. So taking a metaphysical approach to life is very empowering as we begin to grow and expand from our little well. There is bigger out there. There is more out there than we know. And if we're open, we can grow into it. And then grow through it and grow beyond it. So healing our body, our vehicle. So what is illness? What's illness? So illness This is like an expanded view now. Illness is one of our most powerful teachers. Illness is potent medicine from our soul. You see, because we're here for our soul. We're here to let go that which would limit us and not serve us. We're here to free that radiant light in Christ I am to manifest through our life. So it's one of life's greatest teachers. And see, I began with saying, no one wants to deal with illness, do they? So the first thing we have to do is acknowledge it. You know? We have to begin to understand when we look at metaphysics and beyond. So what we do is we look at illness or sickness and we say that it's a symptom. It's not the cause. So if we begin to look at illness and disease as a symptom, it's a symptom for a cure to heal our soul. So that's a new way of looking at it, isn't it? We deal with that here, with energy medicine, vibrational healing. We work in the physical body, but then we work in the causal bodies. We work in the emotional body, the mental body, even go to soul. Because everything's energy and everything's vibration. And so once we can begin to open up and accept that greater, accept that we created that illness in our life. That's another hard one for people to accept and acknowledge. Because we go, why would I do that? Because when we look with worldly 3D eyes, it doesn't make sense. But from the bigger picture, from our soul, it makes perfect sense. Because we hold so much limitation within us. We got so much baggage that it keeps us from being who we are. It keeps us from being who we came to be. So to begin to look at, where did this illness come from? I created it. And we could create it with misqualified beliefs. We could create it with judgments. We could create it with hardened emotions. We could create it from our ego. We created it. And so if we created it, we can recreate. But we recreate from our absolute truth, I am spirit. We recreate with our Christed nature. So illnesses can be life-altering. Illnesses can make us strong. Illnesses can transform our character because they make us go deep within. And if we learn the lesson as we move through the healing process, we're changed. We're expanded. White Eagle says, it's not what's happening around you, it's how you deal with what's happening around you. And as we begin to accept our illnesses, our troubles, our trials, our losses, our gains, as part of our journey, and we move out of duality into oneness, that it's good, that it's in its right and perfect place. That's when we truly begin to grow. Have you ever heard anyone say or read, my illness saved my life? My illness saved my life. So that's kind of a paradox, isn't it? But it's real. We've all heard people say that. We've read articles and stories and miracles and things like that.